I am Laure Oxford. I am on the marketing insights team here at Reddit. And so essentially my team's job is to decode the cultures and communities that are built on our platform so that we can translate those conversations to valuable actions for brands. And not only for brands, but also for the communities that are built on our platform as well, right? Because ultimately what we're trying to do is maintain the sense that Reddit is the most human place on the internet. And every single day, 120 million people come to Reddit to ask for answers. And that's directly. That's not through ChatGPT. That's not through Google. Maybe they clicked on from Google. But these are people that are on our site, about half of the US every week. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about what an average kind of search journey could look like for users and the types of searches that different users may have in a single day. I'm going to use some examples from my real life recently because I am a Redditor. So we have product and service recommendations, right? These are happening all the time. I recently moved house and I found r/Brooklyn recommended intense movers. If you live in Brooklyn and you need a mover, highly recommend them. They are the most affordable and so reliable, and r/Brooklyn was what told me about that. But it's not just a case of the products and services that we're getting recommended. People are also getting advice and guidance and tips on how to engage with these services and products once they've actually purchased them. So I have 2 cats. Perhaps unwisely, I was considering traversing in the truck with the cats and the men. r/Cat Advice told me that that was probably not a great idea, and they probably saved me a whole lot of hassle and stress. So after I've spent a whole day doing all of these kind of searches and trying to figure out exactly what my moving day is going to look like, I'm going to plop down on the sofa to watch the season finale of The Pitt. Any Pitt fans in here? Yeah, excellent. So r/The Pitt is one of the places that I have to go to validate my opinion before I decide that that's my opinion. So even if you are, whether you're searching for products, whether you're searching for services, whether you're getting advice and guidance, or whether you're shaping your values and your opinions, these communities all have a role to play in these journeys, right? And this is because our communities are trusted. And out of interest, how many people here have used Reddit in the last couple of weeks? Okay, nice. I like it. So I won't spend too much time laboring this slide, but ultimately content is hopefully posted by real people. It may be kind of rejected if it's not by our platform level moderation or one of the moderators, people who do not work for Reddit but are responsible for kind of safeguarding our communities will decide if that type of content is the type of content that they want. In that subreddit, either because it's human or because it kind of follows the rules that they have decided their community wants to abide by. And then, of course, instead of one person, one influencer telling you that something is trustworthy or useful information, we have 44 or 13 people upvoting different answers and telling us as a collective, as a hive mind, is this something to be trusted? And this kind of structural integrity enables real, remember before the internet when word of mouth was still a really important way to market? This enables word of mouth to scale, right? That's why it's so trustworthy. That's why, again, we are one of the most human places, if not the most human place on the internet. Now, what is very convenient for us as marketers is that also means that product and brand recommendations are super trustworthy as well. And that is why that we are seeing, as our platform grows, we're also seeing that conversations with high commercial intent are growing as well, right? And these kinds of conversations are the ones that hold incredible insights into what people want from a brand, from a product, from a service, and then how they actually use those products and services after they've purchased them as well. And that means that I feel like I'm bearing the lead here, but obviously as the insights person, I'm going to be talking to you about insights. Really, we want to find as many ways as possible to get these really, really valuable insights into your hands, yes, so that you can do better marketing on Reddit, but also so that we can help you inform your audience and marketing strategies across platforms and across surfaces. And that's what we've been investing in the last couple of years. So last year at Cannes, we announced Reddit Community Intelligence, and this is our expanding suite of AI-powered business tools that essentially help to take Reddit's incredibly complex and unstructured conversational data and turn it into something that's actually useful, because that is honestly one of the biggest business challenges that we face every day. I think everyone knows that Reddit is a useful place to find interesting insights about brands and products and people. It's just about how do you turn that into something interesting. So we have Reddit answers. Out of interest, has anyone used Reddit answers? Okay, yeah, this happens every time. This is what it felt like to be in a room asking people if they used Reddit like 4 years ago. Everyone was like, oh, I don't know. So Reddit Answers is fabulous. I strongly recommend you check it out. You can access it on web or on the app, and it's literally just in the search bar you search, and if you press the little answers icon, it was kind of like ChatGPT if the only content was Reddit. So it just summarizes the answers. You can say, what's the best moisturizer for someone with rosacea? And it will summarize all of the most upvoted and viewed commentary, and then it will give you an answer. So this is how our users on an everyday basis can access Reddit community intelligence. Then we have Reddit Pro, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit more today, which is about pretty much any brand can sign up to Reddit Pro and track keywords relating to their brand, category, products, etc., in order to really try and understand where those things are being discussed, how much they're being discussed, when they're spiking, what kind of posts actually kind of lead people to talk about them, which is very useful. And then thirdly, I'll talk less about this, but Tinuiti does have access to Reddit Insights, which is our proprietary insights tool, which allows brands to really tap very deeply into that well of conversational data so that you can make highly relevant marketing on Reddit based on both targeting and messaging. But today I want to talk about what you can access, which is Reddit Pro. I highly recommend signing up. I'll leave you some tips at the end about how you can sign up. But essentially, you can track mentions, posts, and subreddits where people are actually discussing your brand. So this is one I stole from the NFL dashboard, which now I'm reading it, I'm like, I think I'm allowed to do that. I assume I'm allowed to do that. But you can see where this conversation is happening, where this little spike is. We can see the top posts where the NFL is being mentioned. And then underneath that, you can also see the top subreddits. And we're actually working on some really amazing features as well, where, especially for organic marketers, it will recommend subreddits where you would actually be able to show up without annoying anyone. And it would even potentially suggest the types of things that you might want to talk about or things you might want to say in those subreddits. So this is the tool where we can start to really kind of track what is going on Reddit. And today I want to talk to you just about a few of the different kinds of conversations that exist on our platform, how you can use them and how brands are using them already. So we're going to talk a little bit about category discussion and speculation, which is a really, really amazing space for brand awareness. Conversations around brand comparisons and product research, which of course is great for not just consideration, but conversion as well. And then my favorite, post-purchase. After people buy a brand or a product, they spend so much time on Reddit talking about how to get the most out of it. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about all these three. Okay. So category discussion and speculation is a really, really amazing way to get a sense of how things are changing and how the way users think and feel is changing. One of the biggest spaces we're seeing this play out at the moment is in technological shifts. Every single industry has some kind of conversations around AI happening in it at the moment, whether it be careers, whether it be college, whether it be parenting. These kind of conversations, like r/productivity apps, what apps or AI tools have actually made your work easier this year, are amazing wells of information about what users actually want from the tools that they are using, right? Similarly, in a completely different industry, we also have a ton of different discussions around trends. Now, I think this is especially useful for something like beauty or any kind of industry which is reliant on kind of cultural relevance or emerging trends, fashion as well. But here we have someone in r/skin barrier lovers, which is someone in this subreddit was like, I'm really embarrassed to say that I'm 34 and I don't know what a skin barrier is. And I'm like, I'm older than you and I have no idea really what one of those is. But people are obsessed with them. They think it's basically all about minimizing your skincare routine after the 9-step skincare routine kind of gained traction. And hydration is one of the biggest conversations that is happening in this space. Now, a great example of how a brand tapped into this is actually a campaign by Culligan Water, which was done with Tinuiti, where they were looking for ways to show up in culturally relevant spaces on the platform. And so they were searching for spaces where hydration and drinking lots of water were actually being discussed and saw that beauty was one of those spaces, right? So they did this lovely, very simple, very easy to activate campaign. This is a category takeover where for one day you can pay to basically take over all of the key ad space around any beauty or skincare subreddit. They had a lovely kind of clean girl aesthetic, obviously hydrating, literally. She's washing her face with water. And this is just a great way to very easily connect yourself culturally with a real trend that is happening and a real conversation that is happening. So these conversations are great to inform brand building, to understand how your consumers' values are changing and how you can tap into these cultural spaces. It's about what your audience cares about and about how your audience's needs are changing. So a little bit further down the funnel, I think this is what people most think of when they think of Reddit. This can be a scary place for brands as well, because it's all about honest and authentic reviews. Oh, horrible. No one wants that. So we've got, firstly, I love this kind of conversation that we see on your left, my right. I made an interactive credit card comparison spreadsheet, curious what people think and hope it's helpful. So this tells us a lot about why Redditors post, right? Everyone's actually really trying to be helpful and ultimately hoping that other people come back and say, yes, thank you so much for your contribution to this community. That's also why this post was so upvoted and commented on as well, because it was so helpful. But essentially it made it easy for every single type of person to understand what kind of credit card is right for me and how do I compare it to all of the others on the market. Something which, frankly, a credit card, are there any credit card brands in here? No? Well, wherever they are, they should do this, because it's really, as someone who moved to the States and had to figure out the credit card system, no. On top of that, we have a lot of these conversations. Beginner espresso machines, pros and cons. That pros and cons piece is so important. People want to know, even if I buy this Breville, what's going to happen down the line? What's going to get broken? What should I expect? Doesn't mean they're not going to buy it. It just means they want to know, they want to be prepared for every possible outcome. And no brand has understood this better than Dove. I don't know whether, I feel like at Reddit we present this case study like 3 times a day. So if I feel like everyone's seen it, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. This is an incredible example of a brand who they basically knew that the authentic, kind of unfiltered recommendations and reviews on Reddit are what makes it so trustworthy and so authentic. And so they said, hey, we're not going to send you a product, but if you go out and buy this, the first 50 comments, we're not going to moderate it, we're not going to edit it. The first 50 comments and reviews will be included in our next campaign. And not only did they do a paid campaign on Reddit, they did it across other platforms, and they put it all across New York as well. Imagine how excited Redditors were to see their slightly bitchy reviews show up around New York, because that's the thing as well. They weren't all positive. One person said that their hair felt amazing, but they hated the smell. And that's exactly the kind of commentary which makes these conversations so trustworthy. And when brands affiliate themselves with those conversations, they get that lift as well, because the brand seems more trustworthy too. Okay, I'm running a little low on time, so I'm going to speed up here. Lastly, I'm going to talk about usage tips and brand communities. So these are the conversations that happen among people who have already bought these products. First off, we have category-wide behaviors that are incredible insights to inform messaging. This is what I was doing. I was running a piece of research around pain medication recently, and it was coming up a lot in parenting subreddits. It turns out there are a whole load of parents, men and women, who are basically going out and saying, hey, my tween or my teen is about to start their period. I really want to make sure that they're all set up and they have a little kit in their high school backpack. What should I put in it? And of course, anyone who's ever experienced a period knows pain medication needs to be a part of that kit. And so, this is an incredible kind of life stage moment, like a true insight about an intimate part of people's lives you don't necessarily need to get in the conversation with some organic messaging, but that could inform a whole campaign idea, right? Showing that you understand parents. That could be a product idea even to inform R&D. Secondly, we have customer rituals among people who have already bought a product. r/Toyota Tacoma and a number of other Toyota subreddits as well. Toyota noticed that people were posting pictures of their freshly washed cars with the words wash day. And so they created a campaign which just gave a platform to this behavior. They ran a survey with Redditors to add a little texture to it, but really just running the wash day, that one post on its own is enough to show that they really understood. And that's exactly the kind of insight you could get from Reddit Pro when you're just tracking the top posts and the recurring posts that are coming through, right? These are conversations that can inform not just user retention, but again, really like even product development if you wanted it to. And so, yeah, that's just like a little insight into how we think about translating insights into action at Reddit. We have category discussions that can inform more impactful brand building. We have brand comparisons and product research that can inform more lower funnel marketing. And then we have conversations around usage tips and in these branded communities, if you have one, which can really encourage user intention and kind of encourage product development and innovation as well. So with that in mind, I do really encourage you to take a little look at Reddit Answers and Reddit Pro. Just have a little look around, see what your audiences are saying, see what types of questions you would like to be the answer to, and see who's coming up as well, because sometimes you might not like to see that a competitor is coming up instead. And finally, if you do sign up to Reddit Pro, these are just a couple of tips in terms of what you can look at. Track the conversations around your brand and products, track your competitors because there's a great conquesting opportunity, and track your key audiences to identify where you can be more relevant. And that's me. Thank you.